In this effort to Christianize slaves, white society offered their captives a first real opportunity at freedom, if only in a figurative sense. In Christian music, slaves found an inspiration that perhaps their masters never intended.
As a matter of fact, it was the one thing that sustained people for 225 years of slavery. They had no recourse to courts. They didn't go to school. They sang these songs, and these songs, as they said, bore them up.
They were immediately able, for example, to draw a parallel between their oppression and the oppression that the Israelites went through under Pharaoh. And that's the birth of the spiritual when Israel was in Egypt's land. Let my people go. Pressed so hard they could not stand. Let my people go. Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt land, and tell old Pharaoh, or tell that slave owner, let my people go. We have the slave songs, which are very mournful. Those were the first remembered African-American types of songs, and they were all mournful. Those are the songs like, sometimes I feel like a motherless child a long way from home. No joy, no hope, deep river, my home is over Jordan. And then that led into the spirituals, which after an understanding and knowledge of the redemptive work of Jesus Christ, the slaves began to take hope that even though I'm in bondage now, there is a hope.
Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home.
Singing was as natural a part of African life as breathing, and all the religious music they heard or wrote served many purposes in developing a new African-American culture. Music was their means of worship, but it also helped establish a community and set up lines of communication.
There's a marvelous spiritual which says, children, go where I send thee. And then it counts up to 10. Remember, nobody taught slaves how to count. 1 for the little bitty baby, 2 for Paul and Silas, 3 for the Hebrew children, 4 for the 4 that stood at the door, 5 for the gospel preachers. Then there's another spiritual which says, them bones, them dry bones, and they began to teach anatomy, for crying out loud. The toe bone connected to the foot bone connected to the ankle bone connected to the neck, connected to the leg bone and the knee bone and the thigh bone. And so you have people for whom learning to read is forbidden, and yet they come out with a kind of intelligence which sets up a bond, which sets up a community.
Oh, freedom! Oh, freedom! Oh, freedom over me!
The slave music was more than ingenious. It was a new art form. Arguably, the first truly American music. African spirituals gave birth to gospel, the blues, and jazz. Music all the more ironic because it was born from a period of enslavement.
Anything, I really believe, anything of any power that's long-lasting, that's of any virtue, is going to come as a result of a life-changing experience or an experience that we would consider negative, sometimes sorrowful, sometimes oppressive. I believe that that's how God develops character in us. If you can endure the hard times, the strength that develops because of those hard experiences is what's going to give you the impetus to do great things.